now, we are the Federal Ministry of Police Affairs, and we are here at the 1-year anniversary of the Honourable Minister Dingyadi, who has been in office for 1 year and he has achieved a lot during his 1 year in office. So right now, guys, we are going in to see his achievement, his development, and his challenges during his 1 year in office. So let's go in. At the same time, we are going to be interviewing the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Police Affairs. So guys, let's go in, let's hear the development and the achievement and the future achievement of Ministry of Police Affairs. Thank you.
Sir, you hold a very dedicated position as the Permanent Secretary of the nation's Ministry of Police Affairs. What has been your driving force in the dispatch of logistics?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's been good. And of course, the cooperation I received from my principal, the Honourable Minister, and my directors and other support staff, that have been really very wonderful in the discharge of their respective responsibilities. So I thank God for that.
And if we look at the general policies of your ministry, what policy direction have been put in place to reposition the security architecture of the Nigeria police?
Yes, you will recall that the Ministry of Police Affairs, upon its re-establishment in August 2019, was given a clear mandate to ensure the safety and security of all Nigerians, and to help to provide conducive environment to guarantee peaceful coexistence among the citizenry, and of course enabling environment for the socio-economic development and the sustainable livelihood of the citizenry.
Okay. There is also an allegation of administrative bottleneck in ministries and agencies of government where it comes to mails and feedback from the general public. Some suggest that e-government will put an end to issues of such. What is your views on e-government and how do you fast-track such initiative?
Well, I do not generally believe that there is administrative bottleneck. Generally MDAs are well structured, having well laid down departments and offices with clear mandates. You will recall that even the reform department, that is the Savicom, in all MDAs were set up for timely and effective service delivery. I believe that e-government has also been in place recently. Most meetings of permanent secretaries and what we call the service-wide meetings, and even Federal Executive Council meetings are held online as virtual meetings. So I do not believe there's any administrative listing, and of course e-government governance is already in place everywhere, especially with the arrival of the pandemic.
Okay, sir. If you decide to let us in a word, what are the challenges that you face often when it comes to management of your staff in the discharge of your duties?
Well, so far there has not really been very serious challenges. I have staff who really understand their job and what they do, and our parts, we ensure adequate and enabling work environment to bring out the best. And of course, the issue of welfare is paramount in the leadership, in the administrative style of the ministry, headed by the Honourable Minister and myself.
What are the long or short terms for your ministry, if there is any? And can you tell us strategies you are putting in place to position the ministry for effective administration in future time?
Well, the plans of the ministry are clearly stated in the vision statement of the Ministry of Police Affairs, which basically is to provide the political will and administrative support for the Nigerian police force, and to operate as an efficient, motivated and equipped force, and people-friendly, of course, people-friendly police. If you recall the interview granted to the Honourable Minister, I mean the presentation of the Honourable Minister, you will realize that the narrative of the police and the policing strategy has changed. The police in the recent time is more or less friendly with the people, and they are people-oriented.
At the art of administrative leadership is project execution. What are the major projects that your ministry is executing on legacy projects you have carried out so far?
Okay, just like the Honourable Minister mentioned in his briefing, you will recall that on the re-establishment of the ministry, there were no well-structured departments, there were no officers on ground, and the rest. So one of the major things we did was to re-establish functional departments in the ministry, the introduction of the IPPS and capturing of police personnel, POLAC personnel and all police colleges on the IPPS platform. But we also supervised the recruitment and training and deployment of 10,000 constables that passed out from the various training colleges last year, and currently the process of recruiting another set of 10,000 constables is underway. We have also succeeded in resuscitating the 470 million National Public Security Communication System Network project, which is popularly called the CCTV project. From the minister's briefing, you recall that the project was completed by the company that got the award, and along the line, because of some logistic problems, the project couldn't take off effectively, and fully well. But with the intervention of the Federal Executive Council, a concessionaire arrangement was put in place, and of course, a concessionaire has been, appointed, and basically what they are doing now is, a baseline audit being conducted by KPMG, that was appointed following due process, and which they have completed about 80% of the audit. And it is expected that on completion of that project, the audits, a full business case will be developed and sent to the Federal Executive Council for ratification, so that the final agreement, constitutional agreement, will be signed. So eventually the project will come back to life. We have also commissioned the state-of-art Nigerian Police Force National Command and Crime Control Centers in Abuja and Lagos, and that of Kano and Port Harcourt are underway. We have as well established a committee for the recruitment of special constables in all the local governments of the Federation and Abuja, while that's following a presidential directive for the recruitment of what call them special constabularies, to partner with the conventional Nigerian police force, and that will carry out grassroots surveillance and give feedback to the basic conventional police officers around that locality. So that is one of the major achievements of this administration. Then you also recall that in October 2019, a 13-man ministerial interim committee of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund was set up, which I chaired, and we were able to come up with a lot of resolutions. That committee was inaugurated by the Honourable Minister, and we were given specific terms of reference, among which was to develop a working structure for the trust fund, which we have, and which culminated to the inauguration of the trust fund by the Honourable Minister, I think in May 2020. And of course, as I speak, the management of the trust fund is working. The board is also working. We have held series of meetings. I happen to be a board member of the Trust Fund representing the ministry. We have an 8-member Board of Trustees chaired by the former retired Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba, and the Executive Secretary of the Trust Fund is Alhaji Ali Sokoto, and the management team is in place already and they are working very hard. Then I think basically Nigeria will begin to reap the benefits of the trust fund that is put in place by the time we start full operations shortly.
Okay. Those are some amazing projects carried out, and we can't wait to reap all of the benefits. Okay, sir, what's the relationship between you and the Honourable Minister in achieving this agenda for the ministry?
Yeah, the relationship between me and the Honourable Minister has been very cordial. He's just more or less like a father, a very humble person, and ready to take advice. So it's been very cordial, and my relationship with the management too has been very cordial, and that is what led to some of these major achievements you have seen that we have been able to accomplish.
We're glad to hear that. Our final question is, how have you been able to combine your office duties with personal life?
Well, that is interesting. It is God. The responsibility is quite challenging and very demanding too. My daily routine activities have been wake up as early as possible, pray to God, then begin to dress up for work, especially on a working day. Sometimes I even come to the office on Saturdays and Sundays. The work is actually demanding, but what can you do? My major responsibility is to, give the best to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and, ensure, better service delivery to the system. So it's actually demanding. Sometimes my family suffers it, by my absence from time to time. But I think my work first to make sure that it doesn't lack. Then my family can enjoy me when I retire from service.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you for your selfless service to our nation, and we'll appreciate this kind gesture of giving us the opportunity to carry out this interview.
Thank you very much.